And how was that? Because one of the things you shared recently was, actually, I think I read it in the book. You acknowledge lots of people who've sort of encouraged and helped you along the way. And you mentioned something about people who believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself. So when you decide to put yourself out there, like you said, it was 2 years where you were thinking about it and you didn't do it. Maybe just describe what does it look like to be Jay Shetty when he doesn't believe in himself, and then when you made the step, what were some of the phases? Like, were you nervous? Then you saw some traction. What were the next? Because the next couple of months were crazy. I think it really went bananas, and then so many things snowballed from there. Could you share it a little bit with us?
Yeah, no, that's a wonderful question. When I mean don't believe in myself, I mean that I never believed that what I'm doing today was possible. So I always found a sense of confidence, and I believed in my abilities to some degree, but I never really believed that this could happen, if that makes sense. Like, it wasn't like I set out to say, oh, we're gonna have like, I remember writing on my vision board before I released my first YouTube video. I remember writing on my vision board, 1 million views, and it was a Microsoft Word document, so it wasn't a beautiful vision board, but it was 1 million views, and no, it was 1 million subscribers in 1 year. Like, that was like a vision that I had, but I didn't really believe it. I just knew that it was good to have the vision.
You need to try and aim for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to aim for it. I didn't really believe it was going to happen, but I thought, what's the harm in writing it down on a piece of paper? And I'd heard those stories about Jim Carrey writing himself a check. Yeah. I think it's for $10 million or something. And it was a check that he wrote to himself for his next movie. And his next movie was Dumb and Dumber, I believe, that got him that $10 million. And so I thought, oh, well, why not try it? Like, give it a go. And Jay Shetty not believing in myself, not to say my own name, but me not believing in myself, repeating your question, is a sign of confusion, feeling stuck, not really knowing if I was doing the right thing, not really knowing how people would react, slightly being worried about how people will respond and what they'll say. So very much the same things that I think anyone goes through starting out something new, but just having pushed myself to that point of realizing that I have to do it. Otherwise, I'm really going to feel unfulfilled. And for me, it was 2 questions that I asked myself that forced me to launch that video. The first question was, what would my younger self be sad about that I've stopped doing? And my answer was writing. When I grew up, my teens were spent writing spoken word and rap music and rhyming words. And I have pages and pages and books of my teenage years of me scribbling lyrics. And I absolutely loved expressing myself through words. English and art were 2 of my favorite subjects in school. And I realized that having become a monk, even though I was teaching, and obviously I was teaching content and studying wisdom, I'd lost my ability to express myself, or not lost the ability, but I wasn't doing that as much. And it made me sad that I wasn't writing anymore, and I wasn't rhyming, and I wasn't being creative in that way. And the second question I asked myself is, when I'm on my deathbed, whether it's 70, 80, 90, 100 years old, let's hope now it's going to be 150. When I'm on my deathbed, what am I going to regret that I didn't do? And this to me is the most genius question in the world. I still ask it to myself all the time is, if I'm on my deathbed and I'm thinking about this moment, what will I regret that I didn't do? And my regret was that I never tried to make it immediate, that I never gave it a go, that I never tried to share content and share wisdom in a big way. And that genuinely was the thing that I was like, I do not want to feel that when I'm 70, 80, 90, 100, 150 years old. I want to make sure that I've given it a go. And so when I put out the video, I think I got about 5,000 views in 24 hours on my first video on YouTube. And that wasn't bad at all. I was actually very happy about it. And that's because I'd obviously learned a lot about social media, about Twitter at Accenture and LinkedIn. I had somewhat of a following because of work. It was all because of my corporate following. It wasn't because of a personal following, and it wasn't in large numbers. And so I had that, but it also came with a lot of feedback from people that I didn't expect feedback from. So all of a sudden I was getting messages from people saying, Jay, you talk too fast. Your editing's not great in this part. The music's too loud. This cut doesn't seem right. And then like in 30 days, I'd managed to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And a lot of my friends were just like, that's great, Jay. You know, that's good. You got 1,000 subscribers. That's great. What a wonderful number. And sounds like that's it. Like, you know, well done. Like it's not really going to get much better than this. So enjoy it, and how long are you going to keep doing it, and how many are you going to keep up with? And literally that was the response I'd received from 99% of the people around me. There was barely anyone telling me that they felt it was going to be big or promising or anything. But the thing is, I just felt so happy that I was finally creating content that meant something to me, and that I was really demonstrating who I was very clearly. I was getting to be share wisdom and try and be entertaining and edit to the best of my ability. I taught myself how to edit. I would spend, and you'll know these are terrible stats, Ravi, I would spend 5 hours a day, 5 days a week to make a 5-minute video every single week, because I didn't know how to edit. And so I taught myself, because I didn't have money to invest. I couldn't pay anyone. I couldn't hire anyone. Raj would come and film my videos for me, and he'd often help with adding a little bit of light or something like that, just to kind of improve it slightly. But I would sit there and pick the clips and edit and all of that stuff.